These are the warm-ups for day 70 and the solutions that follow. So it says that if a furnace uses 40 gallons of oil in 8 days, how many gallons does it use in 10 days? And so whenever we see a problem like this, this is a proportion. So we're going to set it up this way. I'm going to set it up as 40 gallons, and it's going to be a fraction with the number of days in the denominator, so 8 days. And if I have a ratio in that form, that means I have to have the same units in the same location. So notice it says 10 days here. So that days means it has to go on the bottom. And it says how many gallons. We don't know the number of gallons, so we're going to call that X. So X gallons over 10 days. So the key with proportions is to have the same units in the same location. Just be consistent as you do the problem. So we'll go ahead and cross multiply from this point. But one thing we could end up doing to make the problem a little bit easier is try to reduce this fraction. So I see that they both have a common factor of 8. So I can divide by 8, and that'll make the problem go a lot faster. And so now I have 5 gallons over 1 day. So 5 gallons per day. And I want to find out how many gallons in 10 days. And so actually at this stage we could even just multiply this fraction here by 10 to come up with an equivalent fraction. But if you didn't see that, you could always cross multiply. So the 5 times 10, I'm going to set that equal to the X times by 1 day. And when I multiply the 5 and the 10, I get my answer. So 50 is the value of X, and X represents gallons. So 50 gallons in 10 days is what we'll end up using. Next one talks about how Ted has 12 cans of Coke and 18 cans of Pepsi. So we're going to write a ratio. So that's just, all that represents is a fraction of Coke to Pepsi. So the 2 represents the fraction bar. So Coke goes on top. So 12 cans of Coke over 18 cans of Pepsi. However, we need to put it in simplest form. So we need to take out the common factor. So 6 is the biggest number we'll take out, and it leaves us with 2 over 3. So there's our answer. Al drives 328 miles on 16 gallons of gas. We want to find the number of miles per gallon. So that means we need to divide by the number of gallons. So we start off with 16, see how many times it goes into 328. Well, to start with, 16 goes into 32 2 times, twice. That makes exactly 32. So we have 8 left over, and 16 does not go into 8. So we add a decimal point, bring a 0 down, and we now do 16 into 80. And so I see the decimal point needs to come straight up into the quotient. 16 goes into 85 times. That makes exactly 80. So you're done with the problem. But you got to write it in the ratio, and you have to have the correct units there as well. So it's 20 and 5/10 miles per gallon is what we'd end up writing there. Taking a look at the next one, it says euros are a currency used in several European countries. On 1 day in October of 2005, you could exchange $3 for about 2.5 euros. So they're saying this is just about, but we're treating it as an equal sign for now, so we'll write that as a ratio. So $3 over 2 and 5/10 euros. Just go with EU for now. And now we're going to find out how many dollars. So notice that we're writing a proportion. We don't know the number of dollars, but that's going on top of the fraction. So X dollars would be needed to get 8 euros. So 8 EU for euros. No reducing on this one, so we're just going to go ahead and start to cross multiply. So we multiply the 3 and the 8. And then over here we're doing the 2 and 5/10 times by X. And then we go ahead and multiply. We get 24 equals 2 and 5/10 X. Now when I do the division, I'm going to move that decimal point over in the divisor and then add the 0 in the dividend. And I start off doing that division. 25 into 240. And so when I do that division, 25 doesn't go into 24, so my first number is going to go above the 0. And it's going to go in quite a few times, 9 times. That makes 225, and then I end up having to subtract. And I end up having to borrow, and I end up with 15 left over. So I'm going to add the decimal point, and then bring that 0 down. 25 goes into 150 6 times. Make sure, again, you bring that decimal point up in the quotient, and that goes exactly 150. So it makes exactly 150. So our answer is $9.60. And so I added that 0 so you can see the number a little bit more clearly. Al has 24 red feathers and 30 blue feathers. Write a ratio of red to blue. So red needs to go on top, 24 on top. Blue goes on the bottom, 30. Now this needs to be in simplest form, so we need to take out that common factor. Again, 6 will do it, leaving us with 4/5. Last problem says Ned earns $255.75 for 31 hours of work. Find Ed's hourly wage. So this is how many dollars per hour he makes. So we're going to divide 31 into $255.75. We're going to add that decimal point straight up since we know it goes there and start doing the division. So 31 doesn't go into 25. The first number is going to go right above the 5 here. Now the way I do it is cover up the 1, cover up the 5. 3 goes into 25 7 times. It actually goes 8 times. Let's go with that 8 because 8 times 3 makes 24. So this is going to make 248. And so we'll do some reducing or some subtraction, borrow a bit, and we have 15 minus 8 makes 7. So we bring down this 7, and 31 into 77. Well, 3 goes into 7 2 times, so we'll put a 2 up there, and that makes 62. So we do the subtraction once more, and we get 1 5, so 15, we'll bring down this 5. And now we have 31 into 155. Let's try 5 times, and that makes exactly 155. So there's our answer. So the hourly wage is $8.25 per hour. There it is. So those are the warm-ups for day 70.